right. All right, I'm ready. Let's do the smiles in 3, 2. All right. You know what? Let's do it again
Okay.
because I had some turn my head face up too much.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2. All right. All right. All right, I'm ready where you are.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Yo, this is Terrence Gaines, aka Brother Tech,
And this is Nika Montfort, aka Tech Savvy Diva.
and welcome back to the snobOS show, the show for Apple snobs, where we talk all things Apple and then some. We are back after a couple weeks hiatus,
Mhm.
much needed couple weeks hiatus, but we are back giving you this Apple and then some news. Nika, how was your break?
My break was a bit chaotic, I have to say. I'm happy to be out of 2025 and glad to be in 2026 because we're only 7 days in. So
Well,
the world is my oyster.
yep, yep, yep. So yeah, same for me. Actually, it wasn't it wasn't chaotic, just busy. Actually did a
Mhm.
lot of things this holiday season that we not necessarily normally don't do previous season, but it seemed like we had a lot going on family wise. So it was nice to take a break just to be chilling. But we are back
Yeah,
in
we
the
are.
seat. We are back with another show. This is the first show of the year. And as per usual, we always kick off our first show of the year with our predictions episode. This is the episode where we take a look back at all of the predictions we made in 2025 to see if they were right or wrong or way off or on the nose. And we take this time to make some 2026 predictions. So let's start there. So we're going to
Okay.
do the Wayback Machine, go back to 2025, and I think we'll do them alternating.
Alternate. Okay.
Yeah, we'll alternate. So back in 2025, my first prediction was Apple will add an actual physical TV to the product lineup, not a set top box, not a um not any other sort of thing outside of an actual Apple branded television, similar to how Apple makes the studio displays for
Mhm.
computer monitors. I thought that they could get a quick win in the wake of Apple Intelligence by just producing and selling a, I don't know, 55-inch TV.
Mhm.
My prediction was wrong. Apple is sticking to their guns, and the largest display you'll have is a computer monitor slash studio display from Apple. So I will chalk my first 2025 prediction up as a loss.
For me, my first prediction way back when in 2025 was the reinvention of the HomePod as the smart HomePod. And my thought behind that was we had all the stuff that happened with Matter. We have the Home app. It got a little bit of a refresh. And I thought that we were going to see that. And I too was wrong, and I'm gonna hold that L for the smart home pod.
All right. All right. So we're both zeros right now. So let's
Yep.
see what we got next. My next up prediction was Apple adds new audio devices. Think of a sound bar and or subwoofer. I just assumed Apple was going to buy Sonos
Mhm.
or like become actual competition for Sonos by launching some audio equipment. They already got the HomePod. I've got a couple around the house. They are decent as far as audio quality is concerned. I thought Apple really would jump into the home audio category because, like you mentioned, they've got all these other home devices. The HomePods can double as a sound bar slash left and right center channel
Mhm.
for a television. So I thought, all right, well, why don't you just make a speaker for a TV and then have that as a new vertical to where audiophiles can get into Apple and get some home equipment, some home audio equipment. And I was wrong on that one as well. It appears Apple has no plans in the future to make any sort of home audio equipment, but I haven't given up yet.
Don't be like me and my, Air
I
Power
am.
Mac.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Apple needs a win, and they need to get into a new vertical. Just do some home audio equipment, man. Stop playing.
Yep. For me, my second one that was that we would get new AirTags 2, and an interface with it. Now, we didn't get any new AirTags. We technically didn't get a new interface, but what we did get that I think a lot of people really appreciate is the fact that with the AirTags in the devices app, now you can generate a we talked about this on the show last year with the new iOS, you can now generate what is it, a link to give to, I think it was 5 different airlines. I know one was
Oh,
Delta, I think
okay.
one was
Okay.
United. Um, and you can give that to them
Mhm.
and they can go and get your bag.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like the authentication that yes, this is mine, and I see it. You're saying it's lost, but it's not lost because
It's
here's
back
the link,
there.
and it's right there. It's telling you. So it's definitely a no, but I think we are definitely moving towards
More
something. But for
interoperability.
2025, it's a no.
Yeah.
So
Well, so that's definitely a nice feature. Imma try to use it, coming up soon. We've got a trip coming up soon, so I may have to play around with that. All right, so my next one, blood oxygen sensor comes back to the Apple Watch, and I think they did that. Am I correct in saying that they figured out a way, a workaround through the Apple app itself to monitor the blood oxygen monitor? You can't do it through the watch,
right.
but they figured out a workaround to get it to where you can monitor your blood oxygen sensors, your readings via the home app on the iPhone. So, you know
Right.
what? I'll take it.
Take it because it was a workaround because I think we talked about it last year as well that Apple lost a part of that lawsuit or lost the full thing and they have to give
Mhm.
Massimo that money.
Mhm.
But of course, Apple is still fighting it. But the workaround was to take the control off the watch itself and
Altogether.
put the control in the actual software on the phone. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that's one of the things that pop up when I check my vitals every morning to see my sleep score because I don't know, I'm like hooked on seeing how well I slept at night. And one of the
Mhm.
5 key things that they keep on vitals is that O2.
Okay. All right. All right. And
Uh
then yeah, go ahead.
Is it for me? Yeah. Uh, this is hilarious. Apple Intelligence will find its groove. That's the biggest no that ever knowed.
Mhm.
And, I think looking I have a prediction around this, we'll get to it, but I think a lot of the things that because a lot of our predictions were good, but nothing came to fruition, and I believe it's because the focus was so much on Apple Intelligence, and they just, they were like jingling from, oh shoot, I just lost the Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy movie. I just completely blanked
Life?
on it. Life.
Okay.
Can't get right. They cannot get
Mhm.
right on this Apple Intelligence. And I think that is why we aren't seeing some of these things that we predicted, is because most of the focus went into Apple Intelligence alongside the things we know we're going to get a new MacBook, uh, a new iPhone, new iPad, standard things that we traditionally see. So those streams are already kind of off doing their own thing. But I don't think Apple could focus a whole lot on new innovation because they were so freaking stuck on and still stuck on Apple Intelligence so much they got rid of the guy who, basically created it created it and was heading it up and got somebody else from a different org from a different company to try and come in and fix it. So that's definitely a big fat no. I definitely think last year I was excited for the improvements from Apple Intelligence from when it was first launched in 2024. And still 2 years on, we are no better.
Nope. Nope. All right. So my next one is Apple redesigns the iPhone 17 to add a horizontal camera bump.
Hmm.
I was like off, but then on, right?
Okay.
Because the iPhone 17 regular went to the vertical camera bump straight down.
Uh huh.
So with the iPhone 17 regular, I was a miss. With the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, they still have the square block on the back where it has
Hmm.
the two cameras at the top, one camera at the side, and then things like the LiDAR sensor on the side, but it's still in a block. So on that one, I was wrong.
Hmm.
But Apple announced the iPhone 17 Air, and the iPhone 17 Air has the horizontal camera bump across the top. So I'm gonna take that as a yes. I'm gonna take that as a win since Apple did announce a iPhone 17 with a horizontal camera bump. Now, word on the street is we don't know if the iPhone 17 will ever come back, or the iPhone 17 Air rather will come back. But you know what? I'm gonna take this one.
So I think you should get a half because before you said we won't get an iPhone Air.
Oh, so what to my 2024? Is that what I said?
No, in your 2025, you said we won't get an iPhone Air.
Oh, I'm looking at oh, okay,
Wait,
yeah.
did you
So I'm
skip? I
wrong.
think you
No,
skipped that one.
yeah, I did skip that one. You know what? I am so I'm half right and I'm half wrong. You're right. So I was wrong. My bad. So I was wrong. Apple did announce a iPhone Air to the lineup when in last year I said Apple will not announce an iPhone Air. So for that one, I'm gonna take a no. So you're
Mhm.
right. You're right. That one I'm gonna take a no. But on my last one, maybe not as well because I'll just skip to my last one. My last one was Apple redesigns. I think that's the key word.
Mhm.
Redesigns the iPhone 17 to add a i horizontal camera bump. So I was wrong on the first prediction, but then my last prediction,
It tied
maybe,
back to the one that you
yeah,
said wasn't. So you
yeah. So
should
I don't
get
know if
some
that
credit.
cancels out or
You can
not,
get some
but
credit for it.
all right, all right, all right.
And for me, I said no new major innovations because again, I thought most of last year was going to be spent on um, getting Apple Intelligence together.
Mhm.
And so I will say probably the iPhone Air. I
Well,
don't
the keyword is major.
major. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's a new phone.
right. That's a innovation. That's a
It's
new innovation. Is it a new major innovation?
See, that's the key word. I don't think the Air is a major innovation, but it is an innovation nonetheless. So that one for me is kind of, I don't know,
We'll do a
it's kind of
maybe.
weeble wobble.
We'll do a maybe on our last
Yeah, so it'd
two.
be like a half a point if we're doing, point per point. Maybe a half, maybe. It's a baby.
All right, all right. So yeah, apparently we suck at
Yeah.
predictions.
I
Um,
don't think we suck. I think they suck because they were focused on the wrong thing. But
yeah,
again, our predictions were not a reality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe personal preference, and I'm gonna
Right.
continue the personal preference in some of my 2026
Okay.
predictions. So let's go ahead and jump into those
Okay.
2026 predictions, and we both are going with the newest lineup to the iPhone line. So why don't you go ahead and break it down for us?
Ugh, I hate this so much,
Mhm.
but I've had to, This is definitely not a personal preference prediction because I don't want this preference unless it's done the way I want it. And I don't think is going to be done the way I want it. So, a foldable product. I think we are getting something Apple Fold. My original thought was an iPhone Fold.
Mhm.
And then I was thinking with all of the kind of hubbub with the iPhone Air, I was thinking maybe they'll try a tablet just to kind of see because
Mhm.
the iPhone is such a it's pretty much the gold standard of iPhone.
Mhm.
But I think we will get a foldable product. I'm not sure if it'll be a phone or an iPad.
Mhm.
I My head is telling me to lean toward the iPhone because that would make the most sense because there are other fold products,
Mhm.
but I call them flip because they are
Mhm.
flip, they're on a hinge, they don't fold, so technically that is not it's a flip, it's not a fold,
Well,
but
I
that's neither
guess
here nor there.
well, I guess it depends on what part folds, right? The hard part on the back with the hinge flips, but the
Right.
screen in the middle, like, collapses. So I get would that be a fold if it collapses in on itself?
So I think that's the issue. And I think that's why no one has really been able to do it successfully
Mm,
because you're talking about a malleable surface, but
mhm,
still needs to be hardware. And I don't think anybody has figured out what type of material
mm,
they can use to
mhm,
be able to get that smooth, seamless fold that we're thinking about and not have to worry about creasing. Because I know I saw someone talking about was it the Samsung Fold or it
mhm,
was one of the ones, and they were talking about, "Oh, yeah, we tested this against 500,000 folds and it held up." And the person who was showing it, it was like an Angry Birds app. And the feature for the Angry Birds app is that you could flap the
mhm,
folds to
mhm,
play the game. So that
mhm.
kind of blows out, the idea of, oh, 500,000 is enough. You can never one thing that I've learned in creating and building software is what you cannot account for
Will happen.
is the human condition where
Mhm.
people will do the weirdest things with a device or hardware or software that you couldn't even dream up to even test for. So that's what I think on the fold. I think we're definitely going to get one. I just don't know if it's going to be a phone because the iPhone is so iconic, or if they'll kind of try it out with maybe an iPad or an iPad mini to kind of see because Apple has taken a lot of L's lately, and quite frankly they can't afford anymore.
Right, right. So, having said that, I believe that Apple will announce an iPhone Fold specifically this year, specifically for the reason that you mentioned that Apple hasn't struck gold in the past couple of years.
Hmm.
The Vision Pro, it was kind of like a thing, but not really.
Hmm.
Apple Intelligence was not necessarily dead on arrival. It just underperformed and did not live up to the hype that Apple put on it. And then, if you consider some other things back in the past, Apple, since the Apple Watch, really hasn't done anything that says ooh and ah.
Hmm.
Apple's going to go back to the draw to the main thing.
Hmm.
Their bread and butter, and they're going to keep trying to push the iPhone, and they're going to do it by announcing a new product with the iPhone Fold.
And I can see that. That's why the kind of like the battle is in my head of,
Mhm,
is it going to be a phone or is it going to be an iPad? And I think at this point they can't really afford to play it safe
mhm.
and try it out, as I was saying before with an iPad. They kinda gotta go full gusto, and is this year the 20th anniversary of the iPhone? Or am I lying?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up.
Oh, but yeah, I think this year might be a milestone year for iPhone. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But 20th, yeah, no, 2027 will mark the
It's
20th
2027.
20th anniversary of the iPhone.
It's
So
2027?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what they do next year. Maybe I'm wrong and they announce the fold in the 2027 to, commemorate or, to in congruence with the 20th anniversary, we shall see.
Absolutely.
All right, I think the next is on you.
Uh, is it? Oh, okay, yeah. Um, so I think because Apple has taken so many L's and Apple Intelligence has not been that girl, I think we may see a surprise, or maybe not surprise, unexpected brand new brand new product or lane. And I'm thinking of I was trying to think what could they do, and I'm thinking maybe a new wearable product. I'm thinking something that is is easily, almost say easily, something that they can create to get them a quick win. Maybe
Mhm.
something they've been working on kind of back in the lab, kind of like off to the side, but they need 2026 has to be the year that they do something that really recaptures people's excitement and reimagination and honestly expectation of Apple, because that expectation has, and they were once untouchable, has definitely diminished. The brand, you know, brand market cap, I think that's a word, or maybe I made that up, has diminished. They've lost some of that shine. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there and say that we're gonna see
Something
some
new.
sort of new product lane or something that we, weren't really expecting.
All right. All right. Like a, what would be a good idea? Let's stay with me. Hear me out. Apple is good with photography, right?
Mhm.
Apple is good with displays
Mhm.
in their iPhones, right?
Mhm.
You can control a Apple TV using an iPhone.
Mhm.
DJI is a Chinese company and they make drones.
Okay.
And they've gotten they have been under the radar of the United States because they're a Chinese company, security, air quotes, security.
Right.
So DJI could use some competition in the drone market. So
Mm.
a good product for Apple to make that you could control with your iPhone would be like a little drone, maybe the size of a Apple trackpad,
Mhm.
to where you take your phone, pop it out, control this drone, and it's got the automatic settings to where it takes beautiful pictures. Now, it ain't a huge drone. It's not like the big ones, big
Mhm.
commercial joints, but something you can hold in your pocket that has maybe like 20 minutes flight time. You pull it out, take your phone out, zip it out there, and it takes pictures. It'll take pictures of your vacation spots, or it'll do like uh, selfies, like with
Mm.
your friends, but something simple, something you can do indoors. They've got these little drones that can take selfies, but they don't have the Apple guts, the
Mhm.
cameras and the zoom. And Apple could probably make a drone and an interface that you could control with your iPhone. So that would be a to to come up with a new vertical that would give them a quick win. That's easy, and it's an easy market because, like I mentioned, DJI is under the radar of the United States government because they are a Chinese company. All right.
Mm.
So my next prediction is Apple does not launch a HomePod. We've been talking about, well, not we, rumor mill has been talking about a HomePod with a touch screen, some sort of interface to where on the HomePod you can select music. It can
Mhm.
be like a little calendar thing. You could display, pictures, things of that nature.
Mhm.
I don't think Apple's gonna do it. I feel like if Apple wanted to do it, they would have done it already.
Mhm.
I don't know what the holdup could be because it's just an iPad on a HomePod. You
Right.
just put the 2 together. You're right, so I don't see what the holdup is, and since they haven't done it already, I don't think they're going to.
And that was, as you mentioned, that was one of my predictions from last year, because
Mhm,
that in itself is also a quick win. They already have the infrastructure behind it. They already have the hardware behind it.
mhm.
I mean, to do that. So yeah, I could see that. I could see them just saying, you know what, we're just gonna roll with what we got. It could be another, you know, um, with the AirPod Max, you know,
Mm,
those things
mm,
have been
mm,
out
mm.
forever, and the only thing they recently did was add a USB-C, uh, connection,
Mhm.
so I could see that. So the next one for me, I'm gonna skip this one, my actual next one, because I think you skipped your other one, and it kinda ties into it. So, I'll skip my number 3 and go to number 4 and then go back to number 3. So, AirTags 2, it's definitely a carryover from 2025. I definitely think we are due for an AirTags update. I thought they were gonna do it last year. It looks like they did some stuff on the software side of it, but I think with the with the popularity of these things, um, and it's one of those things where I kinda went back and forth because I was like, "They're perfect the way they are. They get the job done.
Mhm.
They
Lasts a long
people
time.
like them. They last a long time. It's not a lot you have to do to maintain them." But I think we're due for, an AirTags 2. I was trying to think what I would reimagine it as as a new version. I think one of the biggest things I would probably say is to make them a little bit thinner
Mhm.
because they're kind of rounded. They
Mhm.
kind of have like a curve on it. So make it like a little bit thinner, more like an actual coin. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking on the design side, make it more um I won't say palatable, but make it more, I guess, user friendly, but it's already a super great product. But I think as with, we've talked about the AirPods and getting new versions of those, I think it's time for an update for it.
Alright, alright. And then the last one I have for 2026 is I'm keeping this is a carryover from 2025. Apple announces more audio products like a sound bar or a subwoofer to complement the HomePod that you can use as a left and right channel. So if you got the HomePods that you can hook up to an Apple TV and do left and right channel, why wouldn't you have a sound bar that is the center channel? And that's all
Mhm,
you need. Or as an added bonus, they make a sound bar. I mean, a subwoofer, and then you have the complete set. You got the left and right channel, you got the center channel, and you got the subwoofer, what most people, which is what all people need for the most part. They don't need
mhm,
the left and right channel, and they don't people. I remember back in the day in the early 2000s, it was 7.1 surround. You need the center
mhm.
channel, you need the left and right, you need the rear left and right, and you need the subwoofer. And then some people had the mid left and right, and then they had the rear left and right, and then they had the subwoofer. You don't need all that. You just need a nice sound bar and maybe a subwoofer. So I think Apple could again, another quick win, another makes sense category because Apple is big on music. Why
Mhm.
not make home audio, man? What y'all waiting on?
All right, for my next one, I'm gonna go over to Apple Watch. I think we're going to, as we saw with um the blood oxygen, I think we're going to see officially a blood pressure app. I think Apple has figured out a way with Apple Watch to actually be able to um, take blood pressure because they have like the blood pressure cuff that usually goes on your upper arm, but they also have wrist cuff blood pressure monitors. So
Mhm.
I think we're going to see blood pressure come to Apple Watch.
Oh, come to the Apple Watch, not
Yes,
necessarily a separate device, but like,
correct. But
yeah,
come to the Apple Watch. Yep.
okay, all right, all right.
You missed number 2 as your number 2.
Did I miss it? Let me
Yep.
see. Oh, yes, this is the most important one. This is what I was saying earlier. I don't think Apple's got it this year for Apple Intelligence. I just don't think this year is the year for them. Again, because they fired their main guy, like you mentioned. They're doing some reshuffling. Maybe they had somebody in the wings that's willing to pick up the mantle and
Mhm.
pick up where the previous guy left off. I don't see him getting it done. I believe that they acquiesce and integrate with something else, whether it be Anthropic or ChatGPT. There's one that I actually started using as a little bit of a tangent.
Mhm.
The trip that we're going on for our kids' winter break,
Mhm.
I actually used AI to start the process, right? I gave it the criteria. This is how many people we got in the family. These are the dates that we're leaving on. I want this type of room. It's gotta
Mhm.
have these type of because we're doing a, with the kids, gotta do all inclusive. If you're by
Yeah.
yourself, you could probably jump around, but when you going with a family, have it all in one spot.
Yeah.
Right,
All the
easy access.
stuff, all the food.
Right
Yeah.
there, right
Yeah.
there, right? So I gave it that criteria. It needs to be this type of water, it needs to be these type of amenities, it needs to have, this and that and the third, put all that stuff in, and I was pretty impressed at the list and the specifics that
Mhm.
it gave me, right? So all that to say, all the way around the world to say, I'm still a skeptic. I'm still not sold on AI everything, right? I
Mhm.
think it has its place for certain things. And I think Apple has kind of realized that
Mhm.
and I guess really has taken I feel like they've taken like a 180 to it. It's like, hey, it don't need to be all that deep, right?
Yeah.
We'll just keep making like the natural contextual stuff. I still want to see the Apple Intelligence that Apple announced, but that's it. Don't do all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
Don't and I think they were trying to follow what everybody else was doing
Yeah.
and got burned.
Yeah.
Now they're
Big
going
time.
to fold back in on themselves and do like subtle things. Help
Yeah.
me make words better.
Yeah.
Help me find stuff in my iCloud a little bit faster. Help me connect all the different native apps because I've been using all these native apps
Mhm.
for a reason. Reminders, there are better apps out there that do reminders and to-dos and task lists better than a reminders app. Nope, I've been sticking to it. There are better apps that do notes,
Mhm.
organize your notes and all that stuff. I've been sticking to Apple Notes. I've been sticking to Apple Mail. I've been sticking to Apple Calendar for this reason that eventually Apple's going to figure out how to tie it all together to
Mhm.
where I can just talk to my phone and it knows my calendar. It knows my reminders. It knows my notes. It knows all the files in iCloud. And Apple Intelligence was supposed to be that.
Mhm.
I feel like they're just going to focus on that and then kind of skip all this other stuff that some of the other ones are currently trying to do, which I mean, technology is technology, innovation is innovation.
Yeah.
But it's like, y'all ain't got to chase everything though.
Right. And I think that's where Apple went wrong. And that leads into my final prediction as well. I think Apple Intelligence, as we know it now, I think this year, Apple is going to start to sunset that. The
Hmm.
way we have Apple Intelligence now. What I think is going to emerge from this year is Siri AI.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Siri being more focused on those
Hmm.
AI tasks. I
Hmm.
can still see them, because honestly, I honestly don't think they want to say that they were wrong on
Hmm.
Apple
Hmm.
Intelligence,
Hmm.
so they'll keep Apple Intelligence, but it won't be what we see it now. They'll still use AI in certain features of the phone, certain products on the phone, and that will be called Apple Intelligence, not this version that they try to make it to be. And I think they're focusing more on Siri and how Siri can be used as AI, and that can be there. See, we got AI at Apple, but it'll be focused more on Siri, on something that Apple can actually control and
Hmm.
improve. They already have a basis for it. So
Hmm.
they could really focus on making Siri better because, again, Siri is due for a makeover as well. So I think one of those things, okay, she didn't come on. I think one of those things, I think that's what we're going to see. They're going to sunset Apple AI
Hmm.
as we know it now.
Hmm.
And what's going to emerge from that
Hmm.
is Siri AI.
Which makes sense because if you go into the Siri in the settings, it says Siri and Apple Intelligence. Just make it
One.
Siri AI.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
All right. All right. So that is it for our predictions. Hang with us for the rest of this year until this time next year. So, where we can do this recap and we'll see where we land on our predictions for this coming year for 2027.
Mhm.
All right. So, I think that's going to do it for the lowdown. We're going to jump into second string. And I have really been checking for it as much as I used to in previous years, but
Yeah.
CES, Consumer Electronics Show, is this week in Las Vegas. And as always, a bunch of companies are out there announcing a bunch of stuff. So I just want to do a couple of quick hits
Sure.
on some of the things that came out of CES that I wanted to get your quick, rapid, knee jerk response on. The first one being there's another potential streaming service coming out. This time it is Roku. According to them, they are announcing a $3 streaming service called Howdy. And the founder and CEO, Anthony Wood, was at CES when he announced this. And his thing was, and I quote, if you just look at what's going on in the streaming world with streaming services, they're getting more expensive. They keep raising prices and they keep adding larger and larger ad loads. And so the part of the market where it actually started, low cost and no ads, is gone now. There's no streaming services that address that portion of the market. He is right, but they all started that way. And then after a year, it became $5 and it became $8 and it became $12. And then it became the $3 with ads. So you got to go to the $5 one, which was
And I
normally
get
I
the
was for
ads.
free to get the no ads. And it's going to be the same rinse and repeat. So I'm not buying it from this dude that they're going to keep it $3 and
No,
they're going to fit into a hole that the other streaming services left. I don't
no.
buy it.
The low introductory price of
Right.
$2.99,
Right.
but in 6 months, it's gonna be $6.99,
Right.
and then a couple months after that, it's gonna be $9.99,
Yep.
and it's gonna have ads,
Mhm.
and it's going to just be the same as the other ones, and I have streaming service fatigue.
Mhm.
Don't give me no more. I
Mm-mm.
don't want any, and I think,
Mm-mm.
unfortunately, with this, is they're just gonna be lumped in with everybody else, and I think he thinks he's standing out
Nope.
by having it for a low price, and people are onto the game. They are onto it's
Mhm.
like, "Nah, I'm good. Imma stay over here with these that I know are already started that this way and are up there, and I already have my algorithm set, my shows saved, so I'm not getting nothing new.
I'm
Nope.
in the point to where it's like, I'm just not watching no new shows if they're not on the 2
On the
or
ones I already
3
got.
I already have. I
Yeah,
can't I can't do it,
I'm not doing no more."
and I'm not it's I just can't. Like you said, I've got streaming fatigue as well. I'm always making sure that nothing is trying to creep up and subscribe me or re-up me when I was trying to cancel it now because it's like it's just too daggone much.
Too much.
All right. So the next one I got, you may enjoy this one. Samsung has a foldable display that they announced at CES 2026. And I'll just do this real quick read. The technology behind Samsung's new OLED panel involves advanced materials and manufacturing techniques that allow the screen to fold seamlessly without leaving the telltale indentation. Industry insiders note that previous foldables, including Samsung's own Galaxy Z series, have struggled with creases that not only affect the aesthetics, but also durability over time. And the article also mentions that Apple may be interested in this because of our predictions that they
Mhm.
eventually going to roll out an iPhone Fold. They probably don't want it to do the same way everybody else is doing. Samsung got this new creaseless OLED, so Apple may try to, you know, I don't know, do a partnership or just buy the Samsung screens to put it in their iPhone Fold, which is not unheard of because Apple has used Samsung guts in the past for iPhones.
Right, and I think with this, when you think about tech, a lot of people they go straight to software devs, software engineers. They go straight to software. Everybody wants a CS degree. It's yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a nice little market for materials engineering.
Okay.
There's a nice market for apparel and textile
Okay.
engineering.
All right.
Y'all, if you have kids or even yourself are looking for a pivot, a career pivot, take a look at material sciences
Okay.
and material engineering because this is the core problem when it comes to foldable. Everybody knows how to program these things, everybody knows how to design them, but nobody knows how to make them. I think the breakthrough for these foldable phones is not going to come from a software engineer. They aren't going to come from your traditional technology company. They're going to come from materials, because materials engineer, you can engineer and create materials. Right now it's taking what's already existing and trying to tweak it and modify it to get, I think, the full breadth of what I'm looking for, or what my mind imagines when you say a foldable device. That is going to be a material that has to be created brand new. That's going to be the true innovation. That's going to be the true ingenuity. It's not as sexy as creating some new hardware or some new
Mhm,
software, but
mhm.
it's going to be fundamental to being able to leverage some of these ideas that people have. And I think, honestly, I think that's where it's going to be at.
All right, all right. So the last one I got up here is, of course, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not there. I'm pretty sure there are robots aplenty
Mhm.
at CES,
Oh, yeah. Hold
but
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But one I saw that might actually, well, according to the story, will actually go on sale later this year is called the SwitchBot. It's
Okay.
called well, the company is SwitchBot. The name of the robot is called Onero H1, and basically it's a humanoid robot in the sense that it has a head or a top,
Mhm.
and then it has like arms that like go up and down and go in and out and articulate and motivate or rotate,
Mhm.
have little grippers where it can pick up things. But on the bottom doesn't have any legs like a true humanoid, but what it has is what it looks like is a robot vacuum on the bottom, and
Hmm.
it has wheels on the bottom, and it can rotate 360 degrees, similar to like a robot vacuum. It can move, according to the videos that I saw, very, very slowly. But what interests me with this one is it's like it helps you with chores, right? So
A little
imagine.
helper.
Right, but not in the sense that it can go answer the door, or it can
Mhm.
go walk the dogs, or it can whatever. It's almost like it if you are a messy person and you just you take off your clothes, you just leave them on the floor. This robot, if your floors are flat because it doesn't it's not, you can't walk, doesn't have like tracks like a tank that can go over
So
bumpy
it can't go over
surfaces,
stairs or
can't
humps
go
or
up, can't,
anything
can't
like
go up
that.
downstairs. You got to have flat hardwood, maybe a low Berber carpet that it can roll over.
Mhm.
But if you got that, this robot, it is going to be expensive. I ain't saying it's going to be cheap, and it is made in China. But according to these stories, according to the videos I've seen, this SwitchBot may be the most helpful in the sense that if you got dirty clothes laying around, this thing can come, pick up the clothes, put them in the hamper. You
It
know, if
looks like the video I'm seeing on the link you sent, it's going over to a washing machine and
yeah.
putting the items in the washing machine, but it is really slow. But I think a lot of times at CES, people come to show off what they have in
Mhm.
hopes of getting more investors and
Sure,
getting more venture capital money
sure.
to say, look how far we've already come. If you give us some more money, we can make it even better. But
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely, again, for me, I think this is what I honestly would prefer, when it comes to, like, this type of thing. It's like doing chores around the house, taking a little bit of the load off. If you can load the dishwasher or unload the dishwasher, or like
Mhm.
this thing is doing, putting clothes in the washing machine, those little things help. I don't think at this point we need full humanoid robots.
I don't understand why they make them humanoid anyway, because we humans are the only people that have enough joints and muscles and bones and, to where we can move fast enough.
Yeah.
You can make it like the Boston Robotics dogs
Yeah.
and just have an arm on the top of it, one arm it can do thing,
And
and
you
then
don't even got no head.
right, it don't need no head, it don't need to stand upright. I don't know what our
Don't need
obsession
no
is.
eyes, like,
I don't know what our obsession is with make them in my own image, but we
it's
are trying
ego.
to,
It's ego and vanity. That's
I
what it
guess.
is.
Yeah, but long story short, this robot, of course the video makes it look nice, in actuality it probably won't move that fast. But like you said, if you've got like a smart washing machine, if you've got a smart coffee maker, if you've got
Stove,
right, if you got something that you can connect
this
to
thing
this
can talk
robot,
to.
it could take the clothes, it could start the washing machine. Once the washing machine stops, it can open the door, take the clothes out of the washing
Mhm.
machine, put it in the dryer, and automatically start the dryer because, I mean, everything is interconnected now.
Right.
So, I mean, something like that, as simple as that. Again, it ain't gonna be cheap. So I got kids, so the kids are my robots. But if you are a technophile and you got some money to burn and you are lazy or messy, you might want to check this one out.
Yep.
All right. So I think that's going to do it for second string. We're going to move into for the culture and water is wet news. Diddy was sentenced to prison earlier or mid to late last year. No, late
Mhm.
last year
Late last year.
before the holidays. And Diddy's employees say they aren't getting paid while he's behind bars.
Shocker.
Right. TMZ sources allegedly said Diddy's money is being managed by business management firm TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group, which is keeping a close watch on what he spends. Some of the attorneys in charge of these civil lawsuits, along with other staffers, have reportedly not been compensating, leading at least one person to quit. So I just wanted to put this in here. It's like, surprise, Diddy wasn't paying people when he wasn't in
When he
jail.
was free.
What
What
makes
makes you
you
think he's
think?
gonna do it now, especially since his star has dimmed? When he
Mhm,
gets out in 4 years, his money, he doesn't know if he's going to be able to generate the kind of money that he's used to, so he's hoarding what he has. It
mhm,
even says in this article that even his family members, he has, like, what, 6, 7 kids,
mhm,
including one who's a baby,
mhm.
they have to go through this management company to get money, and I'm sure they are watching every single dime and not giving more than actually necessary. So, I mean, I don't know what they thought.
I honestly don't know I don't know why as soon as he got convicted, they
All
didn't
this,
jump ship.
even honestly, even before that, when all this stuff started, you
Mhm.
should have been, like, putting your resume out there, preparing
Yeah, buddy.
for if the worst were to happen. Now, if he
Go
would
ahead.
have gotten off, you would have kept working or whatever, but
You ain't gonna catch me slipping. Soon as,
yeah,
Cassie got that bag from him, I'm like, "Alright,
yeah.
writing's on the wall. Let me go ahead and get on
Let me
Indeed. Let
start
me get
packing
on
my stuff.
LinkedIn right quick. Let me do some
Right.
networking. Because come on now. I don't know
Yeah.
why they thought the train was gonna keep going when that dude, of all people, was gonna go to prison."
Like you said, he wasn't paying people when he was free and at the top. You definitely know he's not paying people when he's locked up and at the bottom.
Nope,
Get out of
absolutely
here.
not. So that was a quick little one for the culture, but I just thought that was interesting. I'm like,
Mhm.
duh. All right, moving on to the hookup. This is a quick one. I don't have no walkthrough. I don't have any sort of instructions, but if you haven't turned on iOS call screening yet, you must like spammers
Mhm.
because since I've had it turned on, it is amazing how
Yeah.
quiet my phone
Yeah.
is. And when I get the actual calls, the person has to announce who they are.
And what
And
they want.
and it gives me time to either listen to the message and then answer or be like, no, that's not important. Either of which I'm not getting pestered all day long like we used to. Like
Yeah.
before iOS 26 and the call screening, I was on do not disturb.gov. I had downloaded my carrier's spam blocker and did it for all my family's
Mhm.
phones and made sure the settings was right. Because now I got my son, he has an Apple Watch with the cellular Apple Watch. I'm trying to you know, tie that down so random people are not calling him,
And you still got the calls with all that stuff.
he still
It's
got the calls of
insane.
all right, right, right. So this iOS 26 call screening, I mean, just knocks out pretty much all of that.
Yep.
So, sorry for you if you're an Android user. If you're an iPhone user and you haven't switched to iOS 26,
You
that
missing out.
and that alone is the main reason I would urge you to update to iOS 26 just to stop people
The incessant
from.
calls.
I mean, it got bad to where
Yeah.
it's like this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I still turn my phone on silent when I'm in calls or meetings or whatever the case may be. But my phone is like quiet and it's like that's what I'm talking about.
My
So
phone stays on, I don't get any type of ring, buzz, none of that stuff. Let me be peace. I do have certain apps where I have notifications on, but most of my apps, I don't have a notification on. Like my Uber, like Instacart, like
Mhm.
those types of things where I'm expecting something. Those are the only notifications that I have on. All the
Right.
other ones, turn that off. I don't
Mhm.
need to see it. I don't need to see it. And what this does is makes it even better because I also think that it deters the spammers from sending other calls your way. Because once I see that you have it turned on, like I currently have mine turned off, um, but I don't nearly get as many spam calls as I did before this feature and before I had
Ah,
it turned on.
so you're saying even if with call screening off, that's deterred a lot of
Having it on
spammers.
before and
Yeah.
the spammers knew
Uh-huh.
they probably mark certain
Yeah.
phones that have this on,
Right.
like, "Don't call them because 'cause you're gonna
Right.
get this stupid thing." We could be calling somebody else who don't
Right.
have it turned it on.
Right.
I've even seen a significant decrease now that I have it temporarily turned off.
Yep. Yep. Now if we can just worry about these emails, we'll be s we'll be golden, right?
Right.
All right, so that is going to do it for the hookup, and that means that's going to do it for this week's show. Nika, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at Tech Savvy Diva all over the digital landscape.
And you can find me at Brother Tech. That's BrothaTech, all over the internet. To connect, comment, support, and share the show, please go to snobOScast.com. If you want to become a Patreon subscriber that keeps the lights on and you get extra content, please go to patreon.com/snobOScast. Drop us a little dough and we give you a little thank you in free and live content that you will not hear on this week's show. So we definitely want to say thank you to all our current Patreon supporters. We would not be doing this without you. So we will definitely want to say thank you for that. And until next week, we are out. Peace.
Bye, everybody.
All right. That is it for us for that part. Let's move into the Snobbish show. So, did you get anything or do anything notable for Christmas?
I didn't do anything notable other than the fact that I was driving to my parents' Christmas Day and my car decided that it didn't want to be a car anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got in maybe 40 minutes from my house.
Hmm.
I was down in McDonough
Hmm.
and sis said, "Hey, friend, we're done."
Oh,
We
wow.
quit. And so I was able to make it. Fortunately, I was close to an exit. I was able to make it to a racetrack gas station that I
Hmm.
was able to kind of pull in and park. And I went in and asked for a manager. Fortunately, a district manager was there. And I kind of told her what the situation was. We exchanged numbers. She's like, "Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I'll tell the staff and all that kind of stuff." So a bunch of back and forth, all to say, it was an ordeal and it was kind of traumatic, just a
So,
little bit.
can it get fixed or you got to go car shopping?
I'm car shopping now.
Oh, wow. So, is
Yeah,
that bad
yeah. So, and
or
of
that
course,
expensive to fix?
I have a German engineered car,
Hmm.
and what the mechanic said is it's a four-cylinder.
Okay.
2 of the 4 cylinders weren't doing what they were supposed to do,
Mhm, mhm,
and
mhm,
he was like, "You will either need a new engine
mhm,
or a rebuilt engine." And
mhm.
again, I have a German luxury car,
Yeah.
and they start at about 5,000.
So, my car had the same problem. It's not a German engine car, it's a GM
Mm,
vehicle. My engine had the same thing. Well, it was worse because, my I think it was a crack in my engine, and it was leaking fuel or oil and causing all kind of issues, right?
mhm.
I hate car notes so much that I spent $10,000 to get a new engine because I hate car notes that much.
Mm,
So, yeah, I mean, do your thing.
yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'll spin the bread because I'm not trying to get another car note if I can help it. So at the time, we had the money. It's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and fix it. And I said, and it's It's running smooth. Now, the difference
Yeah.
between my car and yours is my car is American.
Yeah.
Yours is German, you
It's
know?
German. And when I say it starts at 5,000, that's
Easy.
for a used
Right. Mhm.
engine.
Right.
And when I was doing the research, it could go up to like as high as 20,000.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I was like, and I had already been talking about getting a car anyway.
Mhm.
I was just kind of, pissing it off because I was like, I don't really, drive like that much.
Mhm.
And at the time, it's like remote work.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I kind of put it off or whatever. And and then, car prices are freaking insane.
Mhm.
Insurance prices are
Insurance
insane.
is pretty bad.
But right now, fortunately, when I talked to my insurance company, I was just going to cancel the insurance, but I
Mhm.
talked to my insurance company. So I had to cancel my car registration first because here in the state of Georgia, if you have a car registered, it has to have insurance. So
Mhm.
if I got rid of the insurance, I could face penalties and fines. So I had to first thing I had to do was cancel the registration on the
Mhm.
car. And
Okay.
when I talked to my insurance company and kind of told them what was going on, they basically put my insurance plan in what they called storage. So
Okay.
I just have to pay like $35. I'm assuming that's some sort of maintenance fee until,
You get a new one.
I get something else.
Oh, got you. You
And
going new or
I think my
used?
renewal is in March. So she was like, actually, that's kind of that's the ideal time to get new insurance when it's time for your renewal. So yeah.
Alright, so you go thinking new or used?
So I need to see what the prices are looking like,
Mhm.
but I prefer to get like the car I have now is certified pre-owned.
Okay.
So I prefer to get that because the way that cars lose value
Mhm.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at getting a certified pre-owned. The
Yeah.
only way I would get something new is if the interest rates were significantly different
Yeah.
because a lot of times when you buy new, we'll give you 0 interest
Mhm. For
for
3, 6
3
months.
months
Yeah.
or what 3 years or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be. That would be the only determining factor for me to get a new over a pre-owned. So
Okay.
again, honestly, I started looking, then I was just like, I was defeated. I was like, this is a lot. And I was already overwhelmed from the whole thing anyway. And so I was like, I'm slowly starting to like look around to kind of see what I want. So yeah, that was it. But that was like the eventfulness of the holiday and what
So
I got.
were you
Hmm?
able to get down to your family?
No,
You
they
had
were
to turn
going.
around.
Mm-mm, so I ended up taking an Uber back home,
Uh-huh.
but when I called my mom and told her, she was like, "Do you want us to come and get you?" And then I was like, "No, because my parents live a few hours away, and I was only 40 minutes outside
Mhm.
of Atlanta, so
So they
I'd
had to
have
pretty
to
much come the
wait."
whole way.
Yeah, I'd have to wait
Mhm.
for them to come about 2 an hour and a half to 2 hours to come and get me,
Turn
and then
around.
we have to go back, and somebody has to bring me back because
And then
I
you have
had
to
just
turn
planned
around
to
and
go
go
down
back.
for the day
Yeah.
because I didn't bring any clothes or anything like that. So and I told him I was like, the back and forth, I was like, "Y'all will miss, most of the holiday, on the road." And then I always, especially around holiday time, I'm usually pretty aware of being on the road because a lot of times that's when things can happen because people are out and about and people can be careless. And I was like, I just didn't want them to be back and forth on the road. So I actually had once I got home and kind of got situated, I actually, I got a new book and I downloaded a new book. I read a book, had some food, had some drink, and just kind of spent the day kind of chilling and relaxing. So that's kind of, how it panned out.
Alright. I was surprised you wouldn't be traveling somewhere off to some island or something.
And that's the thing. I decided this year that going forward, that's what I'm going to do on my holiday is during the holidays is travel.
Okay.
We've talked about it before. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. unfortunately don't have the dog. So I was like, I'm free to just kind of roam.
Mhm.
And I think, that's what I'm going to start doing is being off somewhere because last year I really didn't travel as much as I normally do. So I'm definitely due for some travel. So I'm hoping for 2026 to, really, get back into my normal traveling and try to kind of get back out there. So that's the plan.
All right, all right. Like I mentioned at the top, we actually did a lot
Mhm.
this holiday season. We've got some specific traditions that we do as a
Mhm.
family. Like we went ice skating just this past week. I don't know why we don't do roller skating. I guess it's wintertime. Anyway, so we did our traditions like we went ice skating. And me and my wife, another tradition is my birthday is New Year's Eve or New
Mhm.
Year's. So we get dressed up and go out, which has been underperforming for the past couple years.
'Cause Atlanta's
Um,
not great.
yes, and it's so weird
So
because
weird.
we went to this. So my plan this year was to go to a smaller event
Mhm.
because in the past we've went to these large events that are in hotels,
Mhm.
and past couple years has been underwhelming at these big places. So we're like, all
Mhm.
right, this year we're gonna something smaller, more intimate. And I found this dinner party that
Ooh,
they have. It's a restaurant, and they have like this special menu for New Year's Eve dinner. It ain't cheap, but it was actually pretty good. The
a
food,
prefix menu. Perfect.
yes, it wasn't cheap, but it was actually pretty good. Now, I ain't
Mhm.
gonna say it made up for it, right? But the food was actually pretty good at most restaurants. Again, I'm not a foodie, you know, but I was actually surprised at how good the food was. The problem
Mhm.
was they crammed too many people in there, and it turned into like a lounge setting
Mm.
to where everybody was kinda, like, sequestered off in their own little spaces. There's no dance floor. There's no even though the
A lot of chair dancing.
even though the DJ was up, "Yeah, man, we just and this and that and third and get ready and this and that and we got 10 minutes left. You better get up," and everybody was sitting around.
Everything doesn't have he didn't know his audience.
Well, I
Everything at our age, it's like, I'm not here for the turn up.
but
Get me some nice little cute music. I could do some chair dancing, stand up if I want to and do a little dance, but sit back down.
but if they
Uh,
but if they would have not crammed it so
too many
tight,
people.
it would
They
have
gotta
had
get
enough.
that money, that New Year's markup,
And that's
they
what it
knew they had
is,
it.
and that's what it is. It's like these Atlanta restaurants, these bars, these lounges,
Yep,
whatever you wanna call them, they are so money hungry
yep.
that it takes away from the ambiance when you all up on each other, and that place wasn't even big to start with. It wasn't like no huge, long restaurant and
Mhm,
big ceilings or whatever. It was like a regular restaurant, and then
mhm.
they sold out. Then they sent us the emails. Yeah, because of the response, we've decided to put some tents up in heated area to where as cold as it was, New
Nobody
Year's
wants to be
Eve,
outside.
you cannot sell outdoors December 31st. I don't care
Mm.
where you unless you're in, Mexico or somewhere like, an
The
island
only place
somewhere.
I've seen it work is when they do the little igloos.
Okay. Oh,
Those are
yeah, like the
cute, those are
got it.
fun, I've done those before, those are
Right.
cute, but nobody wants to do that on New Year's Eve because you're sequestered with your own group of people. Some people like that, some people like the, "Let's be around everybody" ambiance type of thing, and yeah, that sounds mm-mm.
So, and I think they crowd it in there. So the photographers, which do a good job, they do a good job. They sell it on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube
To make it look great.
to make it look like there's action. But when you actually went there, it's like, where are the anybody supposed to do anything
Yeah,
around here? But then the camera
other than
dude,
sit.
he's super tight
He knew his
on
angles,
people.
boy.
And I'm pretty sure they put them pictures. I haven't went back and looked, but they
Mhm,
probably went back and put them things on Instagram, and
and
people was like,
everybody
"Oh,
was like, "Oh my god, this looks
I can't believe I missed it.
amazing."
I can't believe I missed it in real time." It's like, come on, y'all. The wait staff and the security staff and the people who were bussing the tables, because it was like multiple courses. It was like,
So people have to be able to
appetizer.
move through
Can't nobody move. The people who just do general admission because of what you didn't have to pay
do the
for a
dinner.
table. You coulda just did general admission and just stand around. Everybody's standing
That's
around.
weird.
It was so
And it
weird.
was all mixed in together, so it
It
didn't have,
was
like, a section
all
for general
Nope,
admission?
they didn't have a section over there for general admission. They didn't push all the general admission people outside, and then, of course, they only got
That's who
one
should have been outside in the
the
tents.
general admission people, no. So, and then they only had 2 bathrooms, one of which wasn't working, so
Oh.
they had those fancy porta potties that have, like, the trailer,
Oh.
but, I mean, they were nice, but you had to go outside.
And then
Nobody's
we
going
had that cold snap where it was, like, in the
Yes,
teens.
it wasn't that bad. It was like 30s, but I mean, I got on a tux, wife got on a dress. We're not going outside.
Side. No.
We're just not.
Because now you gotta make your way back inside, and you
Right.
gotta get through all the, "Excuse me,
Nope,
sorry,
nope.
coming through." It's a lot.
So all that to say, we were pretty much underwhelmed. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on what we're gonna do
Yeah,
next year. If not anything, we may just do something at the house. What I'm
yeah.
thinking about doing is doing something at the house, inviting people over. You ain't got to get tuxedo, but
Do a
a
trip, that
nice
would be fun.
right. So
Bring in the new year in a different country?
yeah, so that was the other thing. We may just do that because it ain't like we spent a whole bunch of money, but we could have figured out to get somewhere for a weekend
Mhm.
with nominal cost. We may try to do that
Do a
as
long
well.
weekend somewhere.
Right, right. That's what we may try to do. So,
Invite people if they come, great. If they don't, great.
right, right. So that was that. Backing up to Christmas, we spent all the money. We first came in like, oh, the kids are only doing this. We're only getting this much, and then kept adding stuff to the cart, adding stuff to the cart,
Blew it
adding stuff
off.
to the cart. So it just blew up. So the kids, I'm assuming they had a nice Christmas. We did the traditional stuff. We do gingerbread. We do our little gingerbread
Oh,
contest.
I saw the video,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
picture you posted.
Yeah, yeah. So we did those, but what we also did something new is we did our own pizzas. So we
Mm.
got dough, we rolled the dough out, we got all the ingredients, the sauce, the toppings, and everything. So we made our own personal pizzas. So that's a new
Oh,
little tradition that we're
that's
gonna do
fun.
for the family. What else did we do? I went to the Falcons game. When the Falcons played who did they play? They played it was a no-win game. They wasn't trying to get in because the Falcons sucked this year. But, we had some friends come in town, some college friends come in town, and we went to who'd they play? Before the Saints. Saints was the last game of the season. Who did they the Rams, LA Rams,
Ah.
and they won. It was a good game. It was actually a good game. The Falcons in that game looked like the Falcons that they were supposed to be. Just all the other games around that tanked, right? So, but we had a good time. I actually was had reservations about going to the 300 level
Mhm,
because normally I'm like 200 is fine for me. If I
mhm,
can get a deal on the 100 level, I'll try to get down there.
mhm.
But we had our friends in town, and they was like, "No, man, I'm paying, all this money for a Falcons game." I'm like, all right, I guess if everybody wants to, go to the 300 level, but it wasn't that bad. It was not that bad as I thought
You
it was
know
going
what
to
the
be.
trick to the Falcons games are?
What's that?
There's a restaurant on,
Okay.
like, the club level,
Uh-huh.
like Arthur Blank.
Mhm.
Um, the key is there's no time limit on it.
Okay.
So you can go in and get a seat, eat some food. It's full dining service,
Oh,
and you
really?
have a great view of the game.
You just gotta
Like,
get there early?
yeah, like
Okay.
one year I went, that we did that. I wanna say we got a standing room only ticket. We were flying by the seat of our pants. And what we did when we got there, we went to the restaurant. I forgot what the name of it is. And the food was actually pretty good. And that's where we stayed the whole game. We ordered
Mhm.
food. We ordered food, and they don't make you leave. Well, at least this was maybe a few years ago. They
Mhm.
didn't make you leave. I don't know if they still do that or not, but we went in there, nice seats, nice, like right straight down the middle of the field.
Okay,
It's
okay.
kind of perched up,
Mhm.
and, like, there are seats behind it and over it.
Mhm.
Go in there, get and of course, the food at the Falcon Stadium, I have to say, Arthur Blank did his big one with the way he has the food price there. Even the
Mhm,
restaurant food was
mhm,
not that expensive. You go in there, get you some a full course meal,
mhm.
some drinks, nice view of the game. That's a trick that I've used
Alright,
before.
I'm gonna check that out. What else did we do? We went to, Korean barbecue. That was, like, one of the first
Fun.
times we did that. We did that for, Christmas. So we, did Christmases it was a Christmas or Christmas Eve? Can't remember. I think it was Christmas.
Mhm.
Christmas, we went to Korean instead of cooking, like, ham and, what
The
normal.
traditional stuff.
It was like, "Nah, man, which wasn't cheap." But it was a good experience.
Yeah.
So we did that, and I finally, did one of my bucket lists,
Okay.
solve a Rubik's Cube. That was
Oh,
one of my things on my bucket list. So for one of my Christmas presents, I got a Rubik's Cube, so I spent Christmas break.
just working on it.
I mean, look, I ain't that smart. I don't recognize patterns enough to do it on my own.
Mhm,
YouTube University. So I go on YouTube and you learn the strategy because there's a strategy to the orientation and the color schemes, and they walk you through, most of the videos walk you through a step by step. There's like 8 steps.
mhm,
You start here, you get them in this configuration, and you turn it around and get in this configuration. The trick to it is learning the steps. Once you learn the steps, because I I would get to one part, I mess up. And you gotta repeat, 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 repeat. And once you get it, I mean, it's no different than anything else. You
yeah.
learn a little bit, you add on, you add on, you add on, you add on, and then you get to the point to where, the joke was, did you look at your notes? my, my son and my kids were like, did you do it without the notes? I'm like, I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet. But it took me a solid 2 weeks of when I had nothing to do. I'm waiting on
Mhm.
something, looking at it, looking at my phone.
Break it out and try and
Do it again, look at my phone. Hey, do a little bit more, look at my phone. And then by that time, say at the end of 2 weeks, I can do it now successfully in about a minute. Go through and
nice.
do it. So that was my little crowning achievement for the holidays. And I crossed that off one of the few things I've crossed off my bucket list is to solve a Rubik's Cube. So I'm pretty proud about that.
Good job.
All right. I think that's going to do it, unless you had anything else to discuss.
Nope.
All right. All right. Well, that is it. Like I said, I appreciate everybody for staying with us this far. Again, like I said, we would not be doing this if we had to do it on our own. So we definitely want to say thank you to the few re-upping subscribers that have stuck with us this long. Let
A
us
few
know if
yet mighty.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let us know if there's some things you want us to talk about. I mean, we got the space for it. We ain't doing nothing special. So let us know. Hit us up. Let us know if there's some things you want us to talk about. And until next week, that's it. So take it easy and happy new year.
Happy New Year.
All right.